I think sometimes people look at movements and they think, okay, there's persuasion, and that's for voters in an election. And then there's protest, and that's separate from persuasion. That's just bodies in the streets. But it seems like they really are, they need to work together.
Yeah, that's a good question. So Gene Sharp, who is considered by many as being a really like potentially the key intellect in the latter part of the 20th century on nonviolent action and the theory of civil resistance, makes the kind of categorizes methods of nonviolent action into three buckets. And the first bucket is what he actually calls protest and persuasion. Like that's the first bucket. The second bucket is non-cooperation. And the third bucket is what he calls alternative institutions, or methods of nonviolent intervention, which includes alternative institutions. And the reason in the first bucket he puts protest and persuasion in the same category, I think, is because of this kind of tacit acknowledgement that protest is a largely symbolic action. Protests as such, as opposed to, say, strikes, are there to make a point. And protest, it sort of depends on what the movement is trying to do. Is it just trying to make a point, or is it also trying to articulate new values? Is it trying, or the movement's own values? Is it trying to set the agenda? Is it trying to put pressure, on particular policymakers to advance new policies or plans, or to get on their side or whatever? So there's lots of things that can be done with protests, but it's largely a sort of communication device between the movement and the public. Sometimes it can serve an organizing function because it's a way of people to find themselves in a movement, and then they can be they can be further engaged through mass organizations and things like that. But it's largely like a communication and signaling device. That's compared to things like mass non-cooperation, like the strike, or different types of social ostracization campaigns and things, which are meant to impose direct costs. And they do impose costs, right? So if you look at things like the Tesla sellbacks, and the suggestion to people that they should not buy Teslas, or to make showrooms like uncomfortable places for people to be, and therefore they don't go. That's imposing direct material costs. That's more than just a communication device. It's an invitation for people to use their own material resources to impose costs or withhold benefits.